Good day, everybody, to Replay Roundtable, the 5th episode of this podcast. Featuring today, we will be talking about the Resident Evil games, particularly the fixed camera angle versions, 1, 2, 3, and Code Veronica. We will be reviewing it and talking about it in its entirety. Stay tuned till the end. Please like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy, and now, on to the video. Replay Roundtable. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Replay Roundtable. Today, we're going to be talking about the Resident Evil games. We're going to be talking about 1, 2, 3, and Veronica, I believe. And I'm here with Eddie and Will again.
Hey, how's it going?
Alright, so we should start, I guess, with the first game, I guess is the best way of going about it. What are your first thoughts about the first game?
First thoughts. I don't know. I have a weird history with Resident Evil. I remember way back when I first played a game of it, I was like 8 or 9, or no, I had to be maybe 10 or 12. Anyway, whenever Resident Evil 3 came out, and I remember the thing that got me hooked was I was walking up the stairs and I aimed up and shot a zombie with a shotgun and its head exploded, and I was like, okay, I want these games.
Fair enough.
The first one I think I didn't play for a couple of years, but like, yeah, I remember it. It's like, it kind of defined and created the genre of survival horror. Like, if not created it, like popularized it, because there was a couple of games that
Resident Evil 1 coined the term survival horror.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, totally.
And like, there were some games that came before it, like Alone in the Dark was before it, the original, and like things like that. But like, really, it's Resident Evil that like caused its popularity and like brought it to the mainstream, really.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a fun game still. Even the old school original, in my opinion, is still pretty fun. It's just, you know, you got to deal with it. It's so basically, yeah, it's a survival horror game. So you're dealing with limited supplies, monsters and zombies and such. And in the original era, it's fixed camera angles, which are supposed to and kind of do make you feel a little bit more claustrophobic in the way that the game plays, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that, for sure. And so you liked it as well? You still kind of like have good memories about it?
I love the series. I didn't play any of them until Resident Evil 4. So it was really hard for me to go back and play the old games. I played like little bit. I played little bits. I own them all, but I haven't played through them in their entirety.
Yeah. I played 1 pretty recently, and I still really enjoy it. The only thing I don't enjoy, like I said before, is the tank controls are just, they're too much for me sometimes.
Yeah. The original or the remake?
The original.
The original, yeah.
Yeah.
They're both really good. The original and the remake are both like quality, but the original definitely, it's one of the biggest charms of like the older Resident Evils, I find, is that the voice acting is like
so bad
it's good. Like, it is so bad that it's hilarious. Like, you are the master of unlocking. Like, it speaks like that.
Yeah.
What I read was that the English dub was all done by native Japanese speakers.
That makes so much sense.
What? Why?
For like the original, for sure, right?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense of how they say things. Just sounds so off-putting and just weird.
Although, also, they did a really good job because they did convincing like American accents.
Well, I'm pretty sure they spoke English, but like their first language was not English.
That's what I mean. Okay. If their first language was Japanese,
it's pretty good.
They did a really good job at making them sound like American voices.
Yeah, they sound like American people. For sure, yeah.
I just thought they were bad voice actors. Although, so the voice actors are probably different than the actors in that opening, then, right? They have to be.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, because those are Yeah, not Japanese people.
No.
So,
I don't know. I just remember reading
also,
that.
we could talk for like an hour
on it.
about that opening, by the way.
I love that opening. Opening's great.
Oh, yeah, it's great, but it's also like one of the cheesiest things of all time.
It really is, yeah.
Like, there's literally a part wwhere the helicopter flies away. They don't show it because they don't have the budget.
Yeah.
But the guy's like, no, wait! And it like just sits on him for a second, like being like, just holding his hand up.
I forgot what that. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot they had like a live action thing in the beginning. I was like, is this just like a really, really bad, but also kind of good in the way that they're being really like at like the adaptation of how their clothing and stuff looks very accurate.
Yeah.
Is this like a short film or something? And I'm like, oh no, it's the game.
Yeah, no, it's the game. I don't know. It's a weird choice because not a lot of games did that.
Well, like Twisted Metal did that as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
They did it for a while, and they're like, "This is weird. I think we should stop this."
Yeah.
But it was like during a time where like a lot of them were doing it because they thought it was like a new thing or whatever. Well, it was a new thing, but they thought it was going to catch on.
But yeah, the first one's pretty good. It's a lot of simple puzzle solving because, like, yeah, in the first couple of games, out of the ones we're going to talk about actually today, 3 is the only one with like actual like thoughtful puzzles that are actually like, oh, you actually have to think about this.
Yeah.
Instead of just put block here. Okay, you solved the puzzle.
Yeah, for sure. I always found it weird too.
And also hilariously, the Japanese version used the English dub, even though Capcom recorded a Japanese version. This is ironically because Capcom thought the Japanese dub was too horrible.
Wow, so there's a version that's worse.
Okay, good to know.
I can't even imagine.
Right.
What were we talking about?
Oh yeah, we were talking about. I was gonna fuck off. God damn it. There we go. I was gonna say like the premise of 1 for people that don't know. That if you click on this, you probably have played it, but just in case you haven't, it's basically where a bunch of people are going into a special forces team called STARS is going in to see what happened to a fallen helicopter or something like that, where people have...
Well, it's the original team. So
original team, yeah.
There's Alpha Team and Bravo Team.
So yeah, you play as one of two of the characters are members of the Bravo Team. The Alpha Team already went in to investigate.
Other way around.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, Bravo goes in first.
Bravo goes in first.
Right, you're part of Alpha. Bravo goes in first. They lose contact with them. They're supposed to be investigating some grisly murders where people have been, like, mauled by what looks like animals. But yeah, once you get there, they get attacked by dogs, and their helicopter pilot takes off, and they run into this mansion for cover, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, this mansion has like zombies in it and monsters and all sorts of shit. And as the game progresses, it's like uncovering a mystery of like why the murders happened, but also what the hell's going on with this mansion. And like you end up going underground and into a facility that's run by a corporation called the Umbrella Corporation. And yeah, you find out they've been doing like experiments on human beings for like the past like 20 years.
Yeah. Isn't STARS, aren't they involved with Umbrella or no?
Wesker is.
Kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So essentially the leader of STARS is involved heavily with Umbrella, and the whole reason they made STARS was to actually have somebody in the city that eventually, when they were ready, they could test out the combat abilities of these monsters and things that they've created against a elite team of police officers, basically.
So they're just like testers?
Yes, that's essentially what the reason why STARS was formed.
For them to be murdered by a bunch of monsters?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, because they wanted to have data against like well-trained combat veterans kind of thing.
I see. Interesting. I did not get that at all. That's cool. But also, I'm assuming they didn't know that. STARS didn't know that because they wouldn't have done that if they would have known.
No. But like also, a lot of Resident Evil's story like, you know, you have like the main cut scenes and stuff like that, but a lot of the lore is in files and stuff.
Yeah.
It sure is.
Like, there's so much reading to do if you want to catch the whole story.
Yeah, so much reading.
Which also still, it's ridiculously convoluted regardless of how much of the reading you do.
It's true. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much. Let's see. Any characters that resonate with you the most in the first one?
I mean, in the first one, Barry Burton's the best character because he's just so obnoxious.
He is obnoxious, yeah.
He's so cheesy. Like, lifts up his magnum. Don't worry, I have this.
And like when she should be squashed in the room or whatever, he brings her out. He's like, "You could have been fucking squashed meat or something."
Oh no, you were almost a Jill sandwich.
Yeah, right. Jill sandwich. I'm like, are you for real? That is horrible.
The funny thing is, like, well, I'm on like Reddit now, but back in the day, I was on like ResidentEvilFan.com forums. It was a deep dive.
Oh wow, yeah,
yeah. But yeah, Jill Sandwich is great. On Reddit, there's just tons of people who like be like, look at my cosplay, and it'll be like a picture of Jill in a sandwich.
That's pretty good. I like that.
But yeah,
that'd be hilarious cosplay.
Oh yeah,
Just like
and I've seen that too.
And then her inside of it.
I've seen that too. Like literally pieces of bread, foam pieces of bread, like around a Jill costume, and you're like, okay, all right,
that's funny.
Yeah, I guess the two main characters that you can play are Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield.
Yeah,
and yeah, the two play styles of the two characters are kind of different. A little bit, because one has like a lockpick, one has a lighter, one has more inventory space.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
one starts... Chris is much harder because he doesn't start with a gun.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, he doesn't have the lockpick, so he has to get these little keys to open up lockpick doors.
Okay, so he's like hard mode.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's harder to play as Chris, but I think I can't remember, but there's some other things that Chris gets that she doesn't.
I think he's more damage resistant.
Yeah. It takes more to take him down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, like, I mean, this is pretty generic, but I'd say, well, no, I wouldn't say Wesker. Wesker's kind of shitty in this one. He's not great. He's also not around a lot.
No. And it was before he, like, got obnoxious and became
he's just a shithead in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. He is a shithead. But yeah, I think maybe Barry, just because Barry's hilarious and he's just over the top ridiculous and just, I don't know. Because Jill, I was going to say Jill, but then I was like, I remember her falling down constantly in it, and I'm like, you're supposed to be this highly trained person, and you're just like, falling on your ass.
She is technically the second newest recruit.
Oh, is she?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always found it weird that every single one of them wear different stuff. Usually in like a task force, they all wear the same thing.
Yeah.
She wears these weird
shoulder pads,
which look kind of cool, I guess. But like, you're like, what is those even for? And then a beret for no reason, and then everybody else is like wearing like
tactical vests.
Like Barry's wearing a red vest or something. And yeah.
Is his a tactical vest, or is it just kind of like a winter vest?
Yeah,
it kind of looks like a winter vest.
It does look like a winter vest. Yeah.
Just a winter vest, yeah. Barry's like, don't worry, I got my own.
It was chilly.
It was chilly outside.
Well, yeah, the first game's alright. It's, it started it all. It has one of the things that the first game definitely has is a variety of, like, enemies and bosses and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's lots of cool enemies.
And you've got like
you got the spiders,
the spider, the giant snake,
the fucking tyrant at the end, the plant thing.
Oh yeah, the massive plants. Yeah, the giant shark.
Yeah, Oh, that was so fucking funny. Yeah. Okay, what happened was when I was playing it, I was with me and my girlfriend at the time were playing it, and I think that the shark was just sitting there in the water or whatever, and I think I did something, and she was like, I think it's fine to go in, and like, I think I shocked it or something.
Oh, yeah.
But then it was still alive, and I go in and I died, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
One thing with the original of these games is that it's back in the day before autosave was a thing.
Yeah.
And
That's why I was pissed off, because I didn't save forever ago. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta do all this shit again.
You could lose so much progress if you were not careful. Like,
Yeah.
I remember many a times of playing these games, and I would be like, hour I have of progress just completely gone. I'm like, I don't want to do that again.
I know, right? You're like, what if I guess
Good old typewriter.
Yeah.
I hit the ink, too.
Yeah.
You need ink to fucking
The
save.
ink ribbons.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Limited saves.
That can stop, for sure. I didn't
Yeah.
like that at all. I was like, I gotta find
mean,
this now to fucking save.
It
Fuck you.
adds a level of stress to the game.
It does. Like, I know why it's there.
Because when you have limited saves, you can't just save scum.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
True. Yeah, it'd be like it's like the whole thing with like the game is like what do you call it? Organizational space.
item management.
Item management.
Yeah.
So just the whole game is management in general.
Yeah.
Which, that's fair.
And I mean, it's the type of game, too, where, like, you're better off, like, avoiding enemies for the most part, unless you have to fight them.
But then they come back later and they can just fuck you up because
Yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, there's a thing in here.
Yeah, it's true. You gotta... I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what happened with that shark thing, but it was I'm telling it kind of wrong because it was so funny because I was pretty sure it was dead. Well, she thought it was dead. It was just floating in the water, but then it was just like, I'm like, oh, why'd I die? No. But yeah, do you have any like hilarious deaths in your game that you ever played for that? Anything that was like kind of like, ah, shit.
In the first one, not particularly.
No, okay.
The only thing that's kind of funny that I remember when I played it was that first hallway where you run through and you go through the first time and the windows crack a little and then you're like, okay, and then you come back through it the second time and a fucking dog jumps through the window.
Yeah.
Makes you shit yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, totally
It's
does.
like one of the, like, original shit your pants scares of video games ever.
Yeah, scared the crap out of me at first. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
holy god.
Oh, God, those dogs.
Yep. Dogs are a piss off too because especially with like the with the tank controls, you're like the whole Metal Gear thing where you gotta aim and hopefully you'll hit the thing.
Yeah, you
can't
just
actually-
point in their general direction.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I think Director's Cut on, they made it so like you just auto lock when you lift up your gun usually.
Okay.
Or not lock, it auto like at least trains on.
Yeah, no,
the
you're
enemy.
right. But like before, when I was playing it, that wasn't the case. So I just had to like blindly shoot in the darkness when the thing was coming. It wasn't even pointing in the direction where
Yeah,
the thing was
no.
there. It was pointing at your face and
Yeah,
physically this way. I'm like,
it's you could just hear the claws tapping along the ground. You're like, I know it's coming.
and then it just jumps on you and kills you. And you're
And that's
like,
kind of the
"Fuck."
charm of those games, though, is that, like, you're in those situations where you can't really see, and you're like, oh, how do I deal with this? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Panic.
Yeah, exactly. They really wanted to be like artistic in the game, and that was fine, and it was cool. But like later, you're just like, this is kind of hard.
Yeah.
Oh, it also, I think Resident Evil also kind of introduced, like, maybe a few other games, but once again, like, made it more mainstream as pre-rendered backgrounds. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What
Yeah.
does that mean? Oh,
Because the backgrounds are all, like, still images that are, like, pre-rendered, and, like, basically a character is floating on infinite and empty space, and it's just the way it's positioned and where they have the clip walls and stuff.
oh, okay.
Yeah, because, like, you can't actually interact with the background at all, because it's just a still image whenever you're running around in those games, in those first 3.
Really? Like in the mansion?
Yep.
All the like the stuff in the background. Interesting.
Yeah, every shot, it's just a still image that's been pre-rendered.
That's super. Like that's just like I just find it very creative and cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it looks
like,
good. Like
it made it so with the limited hardware they had, it looked fantastic,
yeah.
right? Not very dynamic necessarily, but like
They could focus a lot more on
quality-wise.
character models and
Yeah,
stuff.
that
They'd have
too,
a lot more
right?
processing power
Yeah.
for that rather than the background. And
Yeah, and also, what do you guys think about the whole door open thing? Every time you go to a door, it goes.
I mean, I have nostalgia for it.
yeah.
But
It's
now
great
that-
at the beginning, and then it starts to get old.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
But-
it's also a good way to hide loading screens. Honestly,
it
like,
was
a
it's
clever
it
way
was
to
a good
hide
idea,
loading
right?
screens.
It was a neat idea for sure.
Yeah.
It's just like when you're like near the end of the game, you're like, "Can I just go?" Like, I
Yeah,
know.
there's and like classic there's a lot of Resident Evil tropes that even in the first game have been started. Like, at the end, you're going to be in a facility. It's going to have a self-destruct sequence. There's going to be a timer. You're going to fight a tyrant, probably.
Yeah, they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Actually, another death that was super funny, and I didn't say it forever. You know the part where the bees come after you?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
something on the wall,
okay,
and if you like fuck around with it, the bees come out.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I'm gonna shoot it or something like that. Like, I interacted with it, and bees come out. I'm like, what the shit is this? And I'm like, have very little health and no health. I'm like, fuck, and I'm running away, and they just stab me to death. I'm like, no.
He died to the bees. Oh no.
Like, son of a bitch. Yeah. I'm just like, so Jill went through all these zombies, killed by bees.
Yeah, killer bees, Africanized bees.
Yeah. They were Japanese murder hornets.
Japanese. Oh yeah, I've seen those. Those are scary stuff.
Those are scary. Okay, so the end, I think Wesker comes back at some point and he like betrays you or something.
Well, yeah, the leader turns out that we already talked about how all of Stars was kind of a sham.
Yeah.
And yeah, you find out like whatever character you're playing as finds out that he's the traitor. And for some reason, I mean, it's very campy and stupid because Wesker is basically like, I have a gun pointed on you, but I'm going to have this thing kill you. And then he releases it, and then it immediately murders Wesker. And you're like, well, your plan didn't work out that well, buddy.
It was super funny. It's like, it's going to be great. All right, unlock. And it's like, oh, well, okay, I should have saw it coming.
In later games, they retconned what happened there, and he did that on purpose to fake his death, because he had already infected himself with a virus that made him superhuman. I don't know.
I mean, it kind of makes sense in a way, but no, it's funnier when he's just like,
I mean, I guarantee that was not in the planning process when they first made the original game. No, they were just like, he'll just open up the thing.
Yeah. So there's... Oh, one thing I want to say is the Crimson zombies are fucking crazy.
In the remake?
In the remake.
Oh, is that in the remake?
Yeah, that's something they added in the remake.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was in the original as well. Okay, well, like, I played them both, but the Crimson zombies, those are bitches. They run at you, and like, so I guess that's when you don't flame the bodies.
Yeah.
Then they come back up and they reanimate and they're red and they're really bitchy. Like,
if you don't flame the bodies, or if you didn't manage to get their head off.
Yeah.
Like, blow their head off.
Which is super cool. But that freaked the shit out of me. I was like, this thing's dead, but why hasn't the body gone away? I'm like, it's pretty cool that they got the body there later. It's like, oh, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, the first hint, too, is like, in all the other Resident Evil games, when you kill an enemy, the body disappears.
Yeah.
And then in that remake, all of a sudden,
they don't go away.
Bodies are just sitting there. And you're like, what? This is weird. Going on there?
Like, I think it's on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, yeah, basically it was just a really fun game.
I still enjoy it.
Kind of ahead of its time, honestly, because
tons
of games came out cloning it for years.
It's true, yeah.
And yeah, like, it was a good one.
Yeah. I was gonna say another thing, but I'll think about what we final verdicts on that. Let's just say for that. I don't think we ever did that for the Doom games, but it's because we all didn't really play it. But we've all played that. What would you give one if you were to give it anything?
I don't know, like today's standards.
Now,
maybe like a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably what I'd say too.
I'd say 6
like,
too.
They were
for me. It's like a 10 because I'm nostalgic as hell. But
yeah, that's the thing. Like, if I'm moving back to me in the past, I'm like, give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
But like right now, I'm like, ugh, some things don't hold up. And
they are like classic, like games of their time, but trying to go back and play them now is it's a challenge.
It is a challenge. Yeah, I agree. Okay, well, any other thoughts about... Oh, I got one other thing. As apparently, this Resident Evil wasn't that supposed to be the original title. It's supposed to be called Biohazard.
It's called Biohazard in Japan.
Yeah.
Was it? I thought they said they were going to call it Biohazard, and then they couldn't because there was a band under the same name, so they had to change it to Resident Evil.
That's for North America.
That's for North America, because they couldn't get... They had trouble getting the copyrights for Biohazard in North America.
Gotcha. But that's
so in Japan it is still called Biohazard.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. One's a band, though. One's a game. They're completely different. Like, I don't know. you know,
Copyright laws.
I guess.
I think there was a movie as well or something. There was like a couple things that were called Biohazard, and they were just like, "Fuck it, we don't want to deal with this.
Yeah,
we'll just change the name."
yeah. Like also, what does Resident Evil mean? Like Resident Evil? It's in the residence, or
Yes,
like
it's a residence of evil.
yeah, okay. So that's
I mean, yeah, Biohazard makes way more sense.
Yeah,
it does for sure.
Because, like, everything in the game is supposed to be biological weapons. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It would make more sense if you're like in a residential area, like in a house or something, than a Resident Evil. It's in the residence.
you're in a mansion.
And then later, like, it doesn't have, well, I mean, most of them are, you're in, like, buildings, so I don't know. Like, who knows? Is there any other closing thoughts on one?
No, not really.
Okay, we can go back if we have any other thoughts.
It's probably my least favorite out of the ones we're talking about today.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. So now we're on 2 now. 2, you might have to refresh me, I can't quite remember.
So 2 takes place, like, I think only a couple of months in, like, the chronology.
It's not that long after 1.
Yeah, and there's 2 new main characters. One is a cop showing up for his first day of work, and the other is a sister to the male character in the first game, Chris.
Yeah. Right.
And she's looking for her brother. She's coming to... Oh, you know what? We didn't even mention Raccoon City. But yeah, this mansion...
Oh, yeah.
This mansion that was the first game's setting was just outside of a place called Raccoon City. So... So yeah, Leon and Claire are the 2 main characters, and they both arrive at Raccoon City at about the same time, and find that there is a zombie apocalypse happening there, basically.
Right. Yep.
I believe they meet up on at a gas station on the outskirts of.
Yes,
that's the remake.
Or is that the remake?
Or is that just the remake?
That's the remake.
Okay.
In the original, they they both arrive in town and they meet up in a diner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then, they take off, trying to head towards the police station because they think that's where it'd be the safest.
Well, and that's where Claire would be looking for her brother anyway.
Yeah, true, and where Leon would be heading for his first day.
So it just makes sense.
Yeah. But unfortunately, they get separated, so that's how they do the whole like having 2 different campaigns thing.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit different too because in the original, it was more like parallel universes basically, where you could either start as this character, and it's just like similar story, but
Yeah,
like,
they were kind of 2 different storylines.
exactly.
Was that even the original as well? Because you played...
No, that was the
the
original we're referring to.
Oh, okay, so you can play 2 different
Yeah,
people.
and while in 2 you still can do that, like you can play the first scenario as either character. Once you've beaten the first scenario, you can actually play the second scenario, which is like the opposite of whoever you started as.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
like, yeah, they'll come, like, because there's a car crash at the beginning that basically splits them up, and they're on either side of the car crash. And so, like, when you beat the game the first time, you can actually play that other side of the car crash and how they go and run into things and stuff.
Neat.
So it's the same timeline, just depends on what character you choose.
Yeah, okay.
And actually, you have to play both to actually get the real ending of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've only played the I've played the number 2 for 64 like a long time ago. But then I played the remake pretty recently ish, and like when it first came out, I did not finish it. I'm very bad at finishing games, but it's becoming like a trope now for me apparently, which is really not good. But starting to play more games now because I'm not doing the thing. But anyway, yeah, so I played that more recently, so I know of that more the remake.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the original 2, it's similar to the first one. It's tank controls. The environments are a little bit more open. There's some more open environments in this one because the first game was very corridory. You would always just be in hallways or little small rooms.
Tiny rooms.
Yeah.
And there's a couple more big areas in this game. They didn't add a lot of creatures, honestly. The Licker would be a new one, and it's kind of like an iconic creature for the series since... and then, like, yeah, it's basically the 2, like, boss-like characters, which are Mr. X, which is a tyrant, and William Birkin, who is the creator of one of the viruses that causes all this stuff.
Yeah. He's the creator of the G virus.
Mm-hmm. G virus, yeah. Okay. Trying to think, because like all I can tell right now is like things from the remake, and I could just say that, but they all coincide with each other, so it doesn't really matter that much, I guess. But yeah, like I remember playing back in the day, and the thing that scared the shit out of me was when the arms come out from the window.
Yeah, it's similar to the dog moment in the first game.
Yeah.
And the arms come out and they like can snatch you if you're close enough to the window, and you're like, ah!
Yeah.
Trying to rip yourself off.
Yeah, I was just like, it's like oh my god! Yep, shit my pants for sure. But yeah, first thoughts of it. Did you like the second one?
Oh yeah, I like the second one quite a bit. The voice acting's a little improved. Still has its moments of cheesiness, but it's not quite as ridiculous. The story is more thought out, I find, in the second one. They started like actually like making the story a little bit more interesting. The first game's it's all right, but like there's nothing really there going on story wise. Like, there's a little bit, but like I said, most of it's in the files that you're reading.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, it was a lot of fun. The cool things that kind of brought were kind of the more open environments, like I said, and yeah, the kind of like it kind of felt like it had a bigger scale because you were in a city that was like falling apart.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
I don't know, the environments I think in the second one are a little bit better, like it's better design,
less repetitive I think as well.
Yeah,
because the first one, everything looks pretty similar. I get lost a lot in that.
It's just mansion hallways.
Yeah, and I'm like, where am I at map? Okay, I'm here. Go down here. Open this door. I'm right here. Nope, wrong door. Okay. Or you go through a door, locks behind you, and you're like, oh, this is the wrong room. Fuck. It's locked.
Yeah, I don't know. The second one, I did play a like okay amount, but like funnily enough, even though the first one's probably my least favorite of these ones, that I think the second one's the one I played the least.
Okay.
Like I think I just played through both versions, like of both campaigns, and then like I was like, yep, I'm good.
Yeah. I can't remember what the Nemesis. Wait, no, Nemesis. No, he's not in this one.
No, he's
third
three.
One. That's why I called three. It's called Nemesis.
It was Mr. X.
Mr. X. He's in the original as well, right? Okay.
Yes.
Does he do like when he does in the remake where he walks around like in the fucking thing?
No.
Okay.
So it's way more scripted in the
the
second, in the original. There'll be instances where he'll like crash into a room or something and chase you, but once you leave the room, he can't follow you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did love that about the remake, how he'll just like walk around, and even like that main area in the middle where you're supposed to be safe, he just like comes to the fucking door and you're like, oh god damn it, I didn't think you can come in here.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally, usually that was actually a good moment because throughout the whole series, basically, when you had rooms with typewriters where it was a save room, it was literally like a safe room as well.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have to worry, they couldn't come, no monsters could come in, there'd be no monsters in there, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
And that was a good twist on it in the remake because, yeah, that room originally in 2 was just a safe room. You couldn't get attacked, and all of a sudden Mr. X just walks his way in.
You're not supposed to be in here.
Yeah, exactly. I think
the bosses. What bosses are there in that one? There's the guy at the end with the eye.
You fight William Birkin multiple times.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And Mr. X.
Yeah,
Dr.
X.
What's your doctorism, or what's your
doctorate?
Doctorate.
He's like
pain.
Oh my god!
That's like
got a PhD in pain. Yeah, it had way less bosses.
The bosses were a little bit less kind of
like.
Less.
I think
you fight them multiple times, though. Yeah,
that's the difference. Is like you fight the same bosses, but with William Birkin especially, each time you face him, he's more and more mutated, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool concept, and you even like there'll be even cutscenes before some of the fights where you watch him mutate into like his more messed up form, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, fair enough. What happens in the going forward? Like, how does it end?
Well, I mean, story-wise,
Well,
there's
yeah.
a bunch of stuff going on. So, like,
Oh yeah.
Claire's story kind of isn't as important because she's just looking for Chris and
Yeah.
doesn't end up finding him.
Yeah.
That's like the
She
conclusion.
finds
of
a note that says it's in Antarctica.
He's in Antarctica?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Yeah, and so yeah, they so Claire's story kind of like adds up to nothing, but she also interacts with one of the characters, with Sherry Birkin, which is the daughter of the monster.
Yeah. Right.
And she kind of forms like a little friendship with this girl, but it's also interesting because in the original, like, Sherry's only in it a little bit, and you're like, what the hell is she doing this whole time? Like, this is like a 12-year-old girl in like a zombie apocalypse where everyone got murked.
Yeah. But she's okay
somehow. Yeah. Oh, and then there's also the side plot that her dad, the mutated dad, is trying to like somehow breed with her, which is...
Oh, really? I remember that. Okay.
Well, like the G virus, there's something to do with the parasite with the G virus. So he's trying to implant a parasite in her, not like breed with her.
Oh, okay.
But
but essentially it kind of
and that's because like for most people the G virus will just like straight up kill them. But it with him, his DNA like merged with it or whatever, and he started to mutate. So the virus kind of is looking for family ties, someone with similar DNA, so
to get a similar reaction.
Yeah, so it'll be able to reproduce rather than
just kill the person.
just kill the host.
But then it can only take people of the family, and that's it. It's not going to do anything.
Well, yeah,
Well, there's going to be other people out there, but it's like it's rare. Right?
I see, okay.
Well, and it tries to implant a parasite in a couple of the characters too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
And then they just die.
Yeah.
And they just die, yeah. Trying to think what else.
And then
The liquors were a fucking pain in the dick, I'll say that. Like,
well, liquors are creepy. The first time you walk by that there's a window near the beginning where you'll walk by and you see one like crawl up the window.
Yeah.
It's fucking creepy.
yeah, it's creepy. Like, when I first like saw it, and it was in the remake. I can't remember much of the... it was so freaking long ago that I played the 64 version. I was like 14 or something. so like I've played it since then.
A long time ago.
It's been a long time, so all I can remember is the remake. But anyway, like it was just like when it kind of like went away, I was like, where is it? And you like look up and it's just hanging out on the ceiling looking at you, and I'm like, oh god. Like, I'm gonna back away.
I guess most of the more interesting side of the story is probably Leon's, because he runs into this woman named Ada, who at that point you don't know anything about her. She says she's a
FBI agent.
I think that's in the
Can't
remake.
remember
In
if
the
they changed
original,
it
yeah, they
between the
changed
two.
it because in the original, I think she was a reporter.
Okay.
She claimed to be a reporter. Yeah.
Okay, because this one she's a reporter in the new one as well, isn't she? Or no, she's FBI.
No, she says she's SB. Yeah,
She says she's an FBI agent.
Right. Okay.
but I'm pretty sure in the original she said she was a reporter. And that's why she had the link to the reporter that had, or the one reporter that was in the jail cell.
Oh yeah. Oh, that him being killed was hilarious. By the way, like I don't know if that was in the original, but regardless, we're going back and forth. But in the remake, it was hilarious because he was just kind of sitting. He's like, "You gotta help me out here!" He's like, "Poof," and then these hands come out from like this direction, just breaks his neck or something, and rips him apart.
I think in the original, he's one of the people that Birkin puts a parasite in. Yeah.
Oh right. Okay.
And it like rips out of him.
Okay.
It's pretty gruesome. Actually, it's like split in half.
Oh shit.
From it coming.
I should look back on that.
Oh yeah, no, the first one is the original's gruesome. Like the original games are brutal.
Yeah.
They were so brutal, in fact, that they all come with warnings of how graphic the violence and gore are.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if this. I think this was actually in the original as well. But like the legs coming off, you can shoot the legs off. I think they did do that.
Yeah, and I think in 2 that's when they started being able to have some sort of limb removal on the zombies.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you could blow off heads in the original.
Yeah.
But in the first one. But in 2, I think, you could blow off legs and they would like fall over and they'd just start crawling.
You just take the knife and
Yeah.
hack at the ground and chop their legs off.
Yep.
I mean, actually, that is the strategy for knife runs.
It is,
You
yes.
you aim down.
Yeah. I mean, at first I was like, I'm gonna shoot them all in the leg, and then they'll be like, I won't have to waste a bajillion bullets. Just go bang bang, okay, off, bang bang, off, bang bang, off. Okay, here I go, leaving. Come back into the room, forget they're there, and they like grab me by the leg. I'm like, God damn it! And like 5 of them grab me. I'm like, oh, this is a bad decision.
It's pretty well. Speaking of the remake, I was doing experiments with that, and I took off all 4 limbs of a zombie while
take
it
off
was
the
still
arms?
alive. Yeah,
So just like,
You just made him a torso.
yeah, it was a torso, and I was like, "Can this thing even hurt me now?" And I walked up, and it was like, and it took off. It didn't clamp on or anything, but like my health went down a little bit, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That's sweet. I didn't know you could do that. I just took off the legs. I've never shot the arms. So I didn't think of it. But
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
actually, no, I think there was one time, and that was during the where I stopped, where I think I shot because I think they were gonna like one of them was about to attack me with something, and then I shot their hand off or something, their arm, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. Yeah, I forgot about that till now.
Yeah, the Leon story basically leads you down a path of like finding out who created the virus and like which is William Birkin, and finding out like turns out that Ada is actually a competitor's agent.
She's a mercenary, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's an agent for like she's been hired by some competitor of Umbrella's to basically steal a sample of the G virus so that they can reproduce it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember
Which
that.
I mean, it does make sense. These viruses are like ridiculous weapons. Like they
are.
can take out. I think because in the second game it's an accident because Umbrella's basically trying to take William Birkin's research back because they don't trust him anymore. So they send in a covert team to grab the stuff, and he ends up injecting himself.
Yeah, they're supposed to bring him and the research back alive, but one USB-C agent with an itchy trigger finger just like fucking pumps him full of bullets. So that's why he decides to inject himself with the...
Oh, he gets shot like a bunch of times by a guy? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, ah!
And then when the monster version of Birkin chases them down, that's what causes the outbreak because the samples get destroyed and leak into the sewer systems.
Yeah.
Oh, but before that, the Raccoon City's already under siege, like, but in the fact of, like, they're already infected. There's a bunch of infected around, right? Already?
No,
not
this
in
is what
Raccoon
causes
City.
it.
It was all in the Arclay Mountains before.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
little
where
ways
the
out
mansion
from-
was and stuff.
from
But
Raccoon
there's
City.
zombies earlier in the game, though.
Oh, this all
takes place
happens
before
before
the
the game happens.
What are we talking about? Like, what is
William Birkin getting infected and killing a covert team of dudes.
this? Was that the beginning of the thing? Or?
It takes place before the game even starts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. No, that's how the infection happens. Is this guy Birkin ends up breaking all the vials and shit that have the virus in it, and it leaks into the sewer systems, and that's how everybody in the city gets infected. It's through the drinking water.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah. That was like some sort of like body cam or something.
Yeah, I think in the remake it was like that. I think it was just a flashback in the original.
Okay.
Or it was like a fixed camera,
Yeah, something like that.
security camera or something, yeah.
Okay. You kill William Birkin, and then after that, I think... I'm trying to remember. Because now I'm going back to the 64 one, because I haven't beat the other one, so I don't know how it ends. Like, how does it end again?
Well, basically, eventually both Claire and Leon find this crazy giant facility that's underneath Raccoon City. Right underneath the police station, actually, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just this massive research facility that has what looks like a bottomless pit in it, which is hilarious. You're like, how did they build this?
I haven't played that, but I've seen people play it, yeah.
And yeah, you find a way to, because Sherry ends up getting infected with the G virus.
Yeah.
And so they find a way to give her some sort of vaccine that stops the spread. and they find the sample of the G virus, and Ada. I think Ada tries to take it, and then dies.
Quotations.
And, and then basically it's just a desperate escape. You fight Birkin and Mr. X one last time. And then as they're escaping on a tram kind of thing that Umbrella's made that leads out of the city, Birkin, it turns out, is still alive. And
of course, starts eating the train.
He starts eating, essentially eating the train. He's so big that he's just a blob of flesh that just is coming towards you. It's like a wall. And, you have this little fight where you're trying to kill him. And eventually they stop the train, get out, and run. And the facility, because of course Resident Evil tropes, there's a facility, a self-destruct timer. You got to escape. And they get out of there. The facility explodes, and Sherry, Leon, and Claire all make it out.
Okay, yeah, that does make sense. You said you haven't played the games in a long time. Or have you played them recently?
I mean,
kind of on and off-ish.
Like 5 years, probably. Yeah.
And yet you know like all this, and I'm like, I can't remember much of anything when it comes to 2.
I also, like I said, although 2 is probably the least, I also played through it like at least 4 or 5 times. Because that's at least because, well, I guess it depends on what you count as playing through it. Because I had to do those you have to do the campaigns
twice,
basically. To get everything.
It's basically the same game twice-ish.
Mm-hmm. I also used to play them like trying to unlock, because one thing that Resident Evil games, especially the old ones, and I guess the new ones kind of have that stuff too, is you'd have like unlockables for like beating the game super fast and stuff like that. And I'd always want those things, like unlimited ammo rocket launcher. I'm like, I need that.
Like in 4 with the the
Chicago typewriter.
Chicago typewriter that has unlimited bullets or whatever. Or like the
that
RPG
so
that has like
fun.
bajillion bullets. It's so much fun. But yeah, so like over thoughts of 2.
I think it's a really good game. A lot of Resident Evil fans, it's actually their favorite. Like a lot of people think of the second game as the best one.
Okay. I can see why.
Especially like fans who have been fans for a really long time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that at all. That 2 is the best. I like 2 fine, but I definitely like the next 2 we're going to talk about. I prefer those over it.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, yeah, I like it. So how about you, Will? 2?
Yeah, it's fine. It's when they added Leon, so I'm going to give that a bonus to it.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I quite liked it. Just feel like, as I said, I can't remember the original very well, but the remake that I did play was super fun, really cool. I like the Leon character. Leon is probably my favorite character, probably. Who fucking knew? I guess on that. Like it's not a surprise to anybody, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But and also I loved how like the limbs would fall off and stuff. It was really cool. The puzzles were really cool. Some of them didn't. That's the kind of thing I was gonna say before. I was gonna come back to it, and I never did. Is the puzzles for Resident Evil don't really make sense in a lot of ways, because like why was this person making all these puzzles to do the most minute things, you know what I mean? It's like, go through this bookshelf, you do all this fucking shit for it to open. It's like, why do you need this? Why is it there? Like,
eccentric people.
Yeah, do you have to go do this every time you go through there?
It's literally the excuse. In the like files, it'll be like, whoever built this, like whoever was in charge of the construction, they were eccentric, basically.
Oh, I remember that, actually.
Yeah, that's basically how they explain it.
Fair enough.
It's like, okay, sure.
Yeah. All right. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
So I think 2 is like, out of all of, well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's definitely up there. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's quite good. So like, as far as like ratings for me, I'd give it probably like it's like the remake anyway, I'd give it like probably like an 8 or a 7. But the old one of what I did play, probably about a 6.5 or something.
I'd probably give both an 8.
Both an 8, okay.
Yeah. I haven't played the remake, but I would probably give the first one maybe a 7.
Yeah, 7.
I just the tank controls and fixed camera angles just don't do it for me.
But that's what knocked it down a bit for me because it was still doing that in 2 for the original.
Just gotta get good, man.
Get
I
better
remember
at it.
when I was like trying to unlock all those like extra special weapons and stuff. You get so smooth at those tank controls, man. You're like running around corners.
It's
and,
true. You're
without
like,
even,
look at me. I like the thing, and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck? Then
You know where the enemies are, so you're already getting ready to like weave around them and stuff. It's
Oh, a thing that it's true. But like in 2, at least the remake, there was no way when they grab you to like shove them away or anything. They just immediately bite you, and you're like, this is some bullshit. Like, why every single time you get attacked, you get bitten and you lose health?
I mean, that's why you gotta have that knife on you.
Oh yeah, and you like yeah. Then you lose it, and it's in them instead of just being like shink. He goes in, leave it there. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's
no, but
sacrifice.
what the fuck? Like, you gotta kill it to take it back out.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. But yeah, I quite like 2. Yeah. Any closing thoughts about 2?
Not really.
No.
No, I think we're good.
Remake's
Alright.
worth a play, for sure.
Oh yeah, totally. Remake's so good.
I should probably pick it up, to be honest.
It's
I could probably find it pretty cheap right now too.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I think
totally.
you
Been out
can
for a
probably,
little while.
unlike online, you can probably find 2 and 3 for a bundle deal for cheap.
I own most of the other games, so I might as well buy a hard copy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I didn't with 3, and it makes me really... The 3 remake, I got it digital because I just wanted it. So I was like...
3 remakes.
Oh, and it wasn't at Walmart. Like, I went into Walmart that day, and like... For some reason, Walmart doesn't have new games now, for some reason.
That's weird.
They'll have them like 3 weeks later, but they don't have them on release date anymore.
That's
and I'm
weird.
like...
That is odd.
Anyway.
Okay, so 3.
3 is probably my favorite. Well, that's a toss-up, actually.
Yeah. I quite like 3. So 3
pretty cool.
is... Fuck, like, I even watched like a review on all of these, and my brain went... Pfft. I remember like 1, and that's it. And I'm like,
So
okay.
3, you play as Jill Valentine from the first game.
Yeah.
Right, yep.
And it takes place both before and after Resident Evil 2. So
mostly concurrently, they kind of happen
yeah.
at the same time.
exactly. I think it starts 24 hours before Resident Evil 2 and it ends 24 hours after Resident Evil 2. Okay. So, yeah. So, like, you know, Resident Evil 2 happens somewhere in the timeline of 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Jill Valentine trying to escape Raccoon City as it's infested with zombies. And being chased down by a new bioweapon that Umbrella specifically created to hunt down the remaining members of the STARS team.
That's why, and that's why I go stars.
Yeah.
I was wondering why. I was like, why are you saying that?
Yeah, well, it's
because he's hunting you down.
Yeah, basically. He's a version of a tyrant who has a nemesis, or called Nemesis, who has a parasite in its brainstem to control it more directly.
Oh, okay.
Like Mr. X is basically, they drop him in and he just
does whatever.
chases
Fucks
things
shit
and
up.
fucks shit up.
Yeah.
While Nemesis is actually like being controlled.
Okay. Is there multiple different Mr. X's or just one?
There's just one.
Doesn't he show up later?
Oh, like, is there, like, yeah, there's more, there are more Mr. X's.
But in the second
game,
game,
there's just one.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So yeah, I used to drive Escape Raccoon City, and yeah, now I'm just doing the remake because I played the remake. Remake wasn't very good.
No, I liked it. Okay.
Because they cut out so much.
They cut
shit.
out too much stuff.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I didn't get the remakes is they're just so short. I didn't want to spend $80 or whatever.
Well, 2 is long, quite long. At least I think it's longer than 3 for sure.
They're both like 8-hour games.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're about the same length.
Well, then the pacing is for some reason in 2 just really good because it works out.
2 just has more backtracking and stuff. Yeah.
I guess that's true.
Well, 3 is a little bit more linear.
No.
Like, you go through an area and finish it, and then you're in a new area where you can't go back to the original area.
Yeah, but 2 didn't cut anything out though in the remake, did they?
Yeah.
Did they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, like what?
The facility is way shorter. There's a bunch of enemies that aren't in the game.
Okay.
Like there's no spiders, there's no real plant monsters. There's these plant zombies in the second remake that are supposed to be like the Ivies, but they're not, because the Ivies are literally like standing plants that like shoot acid at you and stuff.
Yeah.
They took out, like, there's not as many fights with like Mr. X and stuff. Yeah, we've been talking for an hour. But yeah, in 3, basically, yeah, it's you trying to escape the city. For the first time, too, it was the first game where you didn't have a choice of characters at the beginning.
Yeah, you're just
Jill
the whole time.
Just Jill. There's a couple of parts where you play as Carlos.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or one, maybe. I can't remember. I think in the original,
I'm pretty sure
just one.
Jill gets infected and is out for a bit, and that's when you play as Carlos.
Right.
And I think that's the only time you play as him.
In the remake, you play as him twice, I think. That's why I'm getting confused.
2 times.
But yeah, it's kind of just my favorite because it's the one one of my favorites because it's the one I started with. Like, it has a place in my heart. Not only that, Nemesis is really cool. Like,
Nemesis is really cool.
And
he's awesome.
And there was an interesting risk reward system with him where if you tried to take him down on the parts where you didn't have to, you could get like new weapons and stuff like that. Like, he drop shit.
Cool.
It's kind of interesting because you have to join forces with an umbrella, like, protection or security force.
Yeah.
Which, like, of course, she's very distrustful of history, right? So that was kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know what it is about the third game. The environments are really beautiful in the third game. Like, it's the kind of last one that did the pre-rendered backgrounds, and they, like, went to town on it. Like, they're so detailed. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, I don't know. It also introduced faster zombies. Like, zombies would actually, like, shamble at you real fast sometimes.
Yeah. I hate when someone's, like, one of the zombies, so you try and shoot them, and they'll, like, sway, and you're like, bang, oh, goes past the head, and you're like, got him, and he's like, oh, at you, and you're bang, oh my god, and like, I can't hit you, fuck you, and then you're just like, like, I'll get to
eventually. 3 is also where the turn towards, like, 4 is where it became action-y, but 3 is where, like, they started to turn the action up a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a dodge mechanic. The weapons are more intense. Like, you have more intense weapons.
Which kind of sucks for me, because the whole point of Resident Evil is the fact that it's horror first and action second, at least for me. And it's supposed to be, like, you're supposed to not be overpowered. It's kind of the point. Mm-hmm. Then they're like, here, have a fucking rocket launcher or whatever. Here's a fucking machine gun.
I know we're not talking about 4 today, but I think it was the best mix of that.
Yeah.
And then they just went way too far into the action camp.
They sure did.
But yeah.
I don't know. We'll have interesting things to talk about because I have opinions. But anyway, 3 is pretty straightforward. They also reused a lot of assets from 2, so they pumped it out real fast.
Was it like later that year or something, or?
It was like less than a year. So it was like, I think it was like December and then like September that year or something like that.
Oh,
that 3 came out.
Okay. Yeah.
Or it might have been a little bit longer than that, but yeah, it wasn't much of a difference between
like
2 and
9 months or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, this one's pretty, like, not really a lot happens in it, really. I mean, you go and you just escape the Raccoon City. You fight Nemesis a few times. He becomes more ridiculous as it goes forward. He gets more powerful.
Yeah, they basically took William Birkin and Mr. X from the second game and kind of combined them.
Yeah. Yes.
This is like this relentless force that's hunting you, but also every time you, like, kill it, it seems to get more and more mutated and more messed up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Also, he has a rocket launcher, so there's that.
Yeah, there's that. It's not fun being hit by a rocket launcher.
No.
It's not fun.
I mean, Jill tanks it, so...
It's true.
Get hit directly by a rocket launcher and she doesn't go down instantly, so...
I'm good!
Wait, in the games was she super... No, that's just the movies.
No.
She didn't get superhuman, right?
In 5 she did.
Either.
No, well, I thought maybe they would take that from the game. No, they didn't.
No.
They don't take shit from the game when it comes to the movies, really.
She gets superhuman in both. That's what that thing is. It gives her like superpowers, basically.
I thought it was mostly mind control in 5.
It's mind control, but it's also like a virus. She's like fucking she can do crazy ass shit.
Okay.
She like dodges bullets and stuff.
She's like a fucking agent from fucking
It's
Matrix.
been a while since I think I only played that game once.
Yeah, that's fair.
I love 5, so
5 on the.
We'll talk about
it's
it
up and down.
later.
Anyway,
We'll talk
talk
about it
about it later.
so entertaining though. Anyway,
It is entertaining. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, 3 is pretty straightforward. I think it's just one of my favorites because it's fast paced.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool shit in it. You're always on edge because you don't know when Nemesis is just going to show up.
Yeah, that part was pretty cool.
Actually, one of the biggest reasons that I got peeved at what they cut from the remake is they got rid of one of the... there's only one other boss in 3, and they got rid of it. And it's this giant worm called Gravedigger, and it's so freaking cool, and it has like one of the creepiest intro scenes where it's like essentially looks like an uncircumcised penis.
Yes.
And then claws like come out of it. Like, okay, never mind.
Never mind, all right. Yeah, a lot of people were pissed off that they cut that.
Yeah.
You're like, where the hell's the thing? Where's the worm?
Yeah, and they cut the like whole park part and the dead factory. And
Why do they call that shit? That was all so interesting. And they're just like, nope, fuck it.
then
They just
made
wanted
it
to pump out another game as quick as possible, so they cut a bunch of stuff.
I guess, but especially for something like this, where it's like it's been around for so long, you're gonna piss off the people that are been waiting around for it because they want to see all of it.
The funny thing is, though, like, it's so weird that people were so obsessive over that with 3 because people like blew up about 3 having cut content.
Yeah,
but like I was complaining about that about 2. Like I found that they cut just as much shit. Like and nobody was complaining. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's weird. But I mean, like, for me, I just haven't played the remake in the original in a long time, so I didn't know what was cut. But I remember a little bit more of 3 of what was cut. So I'm like, okay, this was cut. Well, that's kind of shitty, but I think maybe it's because most people didn't remember or something. So selective memory.
I don't know. Like I said, there's not really much to talk about 3 because it's really like it is like the gamiest of the game.
It's
of
pretty
these 3
yeah,
games.
like
Like
it doesn't have a
just,
ton of storyline. It's pretty straightforward what you're doing,
and like it's mostly gameplay. It's mostly just like running around doing stuff and trying to solve puzzles. There are
some, but not a lot. But
no, really.
I don't think there's a lot of reading material either in this one.
There's a good amount of files. You just have to find them.
Yeah, it works.
But yeah, I remember this one. I was like the one that I burned out on the most because if you beat it, I think 9 times, you got all these epilogue things.
Oh, jeez.
So by the end, I beat it in 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Wow.
Third one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which that's impressive for me.
Yeah.
But
that's not the record time.
No, the speed run's like 45 minutes. So so I'm like an hour over the speed run record, but I was proud of myself.
Also with the things that you can like cheat to go. I guess not really cheating if you do speedruns, but some people
like glitches and stuff.
Yeah, so
depends on the speedrun. There's straight up speedruns too, where there's none of that.
I'm good with. I like those when they're straight speedruns because that takes talent. Finding a glitch isn't very talent. It's not really a talent, really.
I mean,
like,
it takes just a different type of talent.
Yeah,
kind of like you have no life in the fact of like you keep just everywhere.
Yeah, just like try to find something that clips weird.
Yeah. Like in the last, obviously quick things, not Resident Evil, but in Outlast, when you go through the first door and you jump over if we're going inside the mansion, or I think it's inside like the big building, there's like a shrubbery, jump over that, you go right into the last area.
No. 10-minute speedrun.
Exactly. Yeah. Someone's like, I beat it in like 10 minutes. I'm like, bullshit. And then it's time to do it. I'm like, oh my god, okay.
That 20-minute control speedrun, which is ridiculous because that game is like 15 hours.
I know. It's
like
exactly. But anyway.
But yeah, 3 it's pretty straightforward. It's a lot of fun. They added some mechanics like, for example, stairs. You no longer have to press a button to go upstairs. You can just walk upstairs.
You can just walk upstairs?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Press a button to go upstairs. When?
1 and 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the originals you had to do that.
Huh. Oh, okay. I vaguely remember that now. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Not really much to talk about.
No, that's fair. I think that's pretty much done for 3. Final thoughts on 3? Did we already say that? Like the rating system?
Oh, I would give it... I don't know. I'm nostalgic. Another 8, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I would give 3 and 8. It's a solid game. Not much of story to go for it, but they've got some cool characters and stuff in there. So
Yeah, I'd give it about an 8 as well. The remake, a little bit of a different story because they cut a bunch of shit, but other than that...
I'd give them both 8s, honestly. They added enough...
I would be a little
2,
more
3.
forgiving of the remake if it wasn't a full price game, because
Yeah,
just
totally.
an 8-hour experience, especially when they just remade 2, they can use the same engine, the same
Yeah, it's like, what am I
whatever.
paying
It's
extra
like
here
it didn't
for?
take you that long to make this. There's no reason this should be a full price game.
It should be like $40.
Yeah, they probably should have charged less, but...
Yeah. Oh, well. But, yeah, that's it for that. And I guess we'll be talking about Code Veronica now.
Okay. So, Code Veronica...
Which I have never played.
Okay.
So, just letting you know.
I haven't played it either. I do, like I said, well, I started out with 4, and I got really into the series, but I had a hard time playing the older games just with the tank controls and whatever. So a lot of my knowledge of these comes from reading material.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is probably my favorite game of the entire series, if I'm being honest.
Might have to play at some point.
Yeah. I think that it's, like, got the best music. It has the coolest creatures, has the coolest weapons, has, like, kind of, like, probably, in my opinion, the best story out of all of them, because it's actually, like, a little bit more story-driven than the rest of them are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some extreme campiness to the story, but it kind of adds to it, because it's, like, part of its charm, kind of.
Okay.
So, yeah, basically, Code Veronica takes place, I think, a year or so after Raccoon City is destroyed.
Okay.
And it is Claire continuing to look for Chris, her brother.
Oh, yeah.
Claire from the second game. And, yeah, it starts out with Claire getting captured by Umbrella and sent to a prison island they own.
Okay.
And, yeah, she's a prisoner for a while, but then her captor lets her go free because the island is under attack and there's a zombie outbreak.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, her captor's like, whatever, like, you could go, you're not going to survive, kind of thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
It has some, it's the first game that kind of went away from those pre-rendered backgrounds I was talking about.
Yeah.
So, like, everything is fully 3D backgrounds and everything, and it made it so that they could actually do dynamic camera angles. Like, for example, instead of it always being completely fixed, there'd be some rooms where the camera would actually like move and follow you as you're moving
like
through the room.
and
Cool. Okay. So there's still fixed camera angles in this one, right?
Yeah, still fixed cameras, but a little bit more dynamic with it sometimes.
Okay.
It has some like really cool creatures in it. Like there's one, I think, is it called the Bandersnatch? It might be called the Bandersnatch. I can't remember. But it's this weird, like, yellow-skinned person that looks like their skin has been, like, stretched, and they have one arm that's massive, and it, like, stretches and grabs people and like, pulls
weird.
them close. It's
Hold on. Automatically turn it off again. What are you looking up right now?
Bandersnatcher. Whatever.
Oh, right. Oh, shit, that fucking moved. Hold on.
I don't know if it's called a Bandersnatch.
It might be. What's a Bandersnatch? What does that even mean?
I don't know.
No, it's called a Bandersnatch.
Yes, I was right.
163.
Yeah, there it is.
Bandersnatch.
Okay. Interesting. This is a cool book. What is this? Oh, Archives.
Resident Evil Archives, yeah.
The Blob, the Fifth Form G. What's this?
It's all William Birkin.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, gross.
When he's transformed, they call him G.
Oh, okay, gotcha. One thing I will say about the Resident Evil series, their creature design is really cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool stuff going on. And like in every single one of them, always seem to up the ante, which is good.
Mm-hmm. This one also has like, I think this Code Veronica has the most bosses and most like different bosses out of any game. Because I think there's like 7 or something like that.
Jesus.
So you're like, you fight a tyrant halfway through the game.
Yeah.
Then there's like this weird, I saw it in there, called Nosferatu,
which is
like so I guess there's there's a character in this named Ashford,
yeah.
And he has one of the most obnoxious voices ever. He's also a crossdresser who dresses up as his twin sister.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to judge, but weird.
Well,
Anyway.
she went into stasis and then he went a little crazy.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'll pretend to be you. Or
Yeah, basically. He has conversations with himself.
Good.
And the Claire even runs into her before, like... You realize that the real her has been in stasis, and it's just Alfred dressed up as her. Like,
Does he have like a, how's it going? Like
he already has a voice like that, so.
Okay. Yeah, so Nosferatu is actually their father, because they're actually his clones.
Right.
Yeah.
What? Huh?
Yes. So Nosferatu is actually, what's his name? Something Ashford. Edward. Is it? No, Edward Ashford is his father.
Yes.
And then, so he's Alexander Ashford, and then he clones himself and creates Alexia and Alfred.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they find out they're clones or something and inject him with the T. Veronica virus or something along those lines. And that's what turns him into Nosferatu.
I think she just decided to experiment on her dad. Because
it could be that, too.
He's called Nosferatu.
They call him Nosferatu.
He's like a vampire or something?
Well, he's like tied up like this, like in a straitjacket and blind and...
Yeah, I know it's about to die. He's going to put another battery in.
Okay. You know, I'm looking at this picture and I'm realizing, like...
I think I know why this is my favorite game.
Well, also, it explains a lot about my taste in women.
Gray and skinny or whatever? Like, what are you
Gray and viney?
Monsters?
Shots fired at the ladies. Anyway.
I mean, if the shoe fits, right?
Yeah, exactly. Let me see that girl again. Who is that?
So that's actually Alexia.
Oh.
That's what Alexia becomes.
Okay.
After she injects herself with the T. Veronica virus.
Oh, yeah. Okay. She looks kind of Kerrigan, sort of.
A little bit, yeah.
So yeah, Alfred, well, mostly Alexia, because Alexia is actually like the brains, basically.
Yeah.
Alfred, for some reason, didn't inherit their father's intellect.
So she is considered like a prodigy, whereas he is just considered intelligent.
Right. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So yeah,
it's for GameCube, right? GameCube?
No, this is a Dreamcast game originally.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. They did release it for GameCube though, or no, maybe they did.
PlayStation 2.
That one's PS2. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is Code Veronica X because it had like extras.
Extras.
Well, there was like an extra like I think there was an extra like half hour of cutscenes in Code Veronica X.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that wasn't in the original. But yeah, it was originally a GameCube game, or I mean a Dreamcast game, which is nuts. It was an exclusive.
That's why it looks so weird. I looked it up and I'm like, why does it look weird? Like, for some reason, I'm like, this isn't GameCube at all.
No.
This isn't PlayStation. This is something weird. But not saying Dreamcast was bad. It was just that their character models were a bit kind of...
The first one that was, well, I guess the only one that was originally for the GameCube was 4.
4 was, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was a remake for, no?
4 was originally released for GameCube.
Okay. Neat.
Although actually no, the first exclusive GameCube Resident Evil was Resident Evil 1 remake.
Yeah, but it was a remake of the first one.
And Zero. And then Zero.
Oh, was 0 before 4? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to play 0. That actually looks pretty cool. 0's before 1 , right?
Yeah.
0,
timeline-wise?
Yeah, 0 is a prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
When am I playing that?
Also didn't make any sense. But anyway.
No? Oh.
Well, because
it's a little bonkers.
Well, not only that, but Rebecca acts like a weak, combat is not her forte whatsoever person, and apparently she's been through this whole adventure before the first game even starts. So it's kind of like, what? And killed tyrants, and there's a part where you are forced as Rebecca to fight a tyrant by yourself.
Wow.
And she beats it.
Okay, then. Well, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it doesn't. But that's okay.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's all right.
Also, I'm realizing that half of these names we've given no context for. But anyway,
No context in what?
Yeah, we haven't mentioned Rebecca.
Oh, whatever.
She's part of Bravo team.
Yeah,
And
from
she
the
shows up
first
in
game.
Does she show up in the original?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Rebecca.
I know she shows
yeah.
up in the remake, but
Yeah, she's part of Chris's campaign.
right.
So yeah, Code Veronica is pretty cool because it also it's one of the first games that in the series that kind of it also got a little bit more action oriented. Your weapons were more ridiculous. You felt a little bit more confident with what you had. You still had to manage what you had. You couldn't completely waste stuff or anything.
Yeah.
But
right.
you felt a little bit stronger. Also, it's kind of interesting because in that game you go through your first area there, which is the prison island, Rockford Island, and once you leave there, Claire and the character that she meets on the prison place, a kid named Steve, they end up escaping the prison, but on the plane they're on, somehow Alfred, the Ashford kid, is able to redirect their plane somehow.
It's it's pre-programmed.
Yeah.
It's autopilot only.
Yeah. and they go
weird.
straight to Antarctica.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's where you run into Nosferatu, he's really cool character design because he's in a straitjacket, and then except he has a giant opening in his chest where there's either what looks like a parasite, but it's probably his heart kind of thing.
Oh, is it in there?
It doesn't really show a full picture.
Oh, right, the eyes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's blind, and then he just has these giant bug-like arms that come out of his back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Why is he wearing a straitjacket?
Just to keep locked up.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Alexia put her in it.
I
Probably.
see. Okay.
But yeah, then what I like, and also what I like about Code Veronica is it's probably the longest.
There you go. That's what he looks like.
Oh, where's the straitjacket? You don't see any straitjacket on him.
Okay, his arms are just tied behind.
Yeah,
his back.
he's just bound up. He's
I
not
see.
really.
Gotcha.
Not
Interesting.
really straitjacket. Anyway, yeah. What's also interesting about this game is it's one of the first ones where you actually play as two characters significantly. There's that part in 3 where you play as Carlos a little bit.
Yeah.
But in this one, about halfway through the game, you switch to Chris and then play him for the rest of the game, basically.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because Chris shows up because he finds out that Claire has been... Which is kind of one of the weirdest plot turns ever. She's literally looking for her brother and then gets word out to Leon somehow that she's on this island.
Somehow
and then Leon's just hey, yo, Chris, I've known where you are this whole time. And this is what?
No.
So yeah, Chris shows up to save Claire to Rockford Island after it's been exploded, basically. So that's kind of a cool thing about this game is you get to go through an area a second time, but it's been changed because parts of it have been destroyed and you can't access things the same way, and you have to find new pathways to get to certain areas, kind of thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's got a...
But it's called Veronica's who you play, right, for most of the game. Or
Claire.
Claire.
It's almost 50-50.
What's it called? Code Veronica then? Oh, the thing is called...
Because it's the T Veronica virus, which is a different version of the T virus, basically.
Yes, and also Veronica Ashford is the original Ashford.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So when I first saw it, I'm this looks like a throwaway game. Because it was Code Veronica. I'm so, Code you? I thought this was who it was, on the cover.
No.
But...
No, Veronica Ashford was the original, founder of the Ashford family. Yeah.
That makes more sense now. Mm-hmm. All right.
So, and that's, 10 generations back.
Yeah.
That's, Victorian times.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, this Ashford family is supposed to be, super prestigious and has been around and in, wealthy for, generations.
Oh, okay, wow. How do you feel
They're
about
also one of the founders of the Umbrella Corporation.
Edward.
Edward is.
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, sure. Do you like the fact that it changes characters?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a cool concept because, like, I had played other Resident Evils and that had maybe, like I said, Carlos for like, you play him for like 20 minutes. But in this one, it was literally like, oh, I don't know what's happening with Claire. It kind of like cuts away and you don't know what's happened to her. Yeah. And then you start playing as Chris and you're like, oh, is she dead? Like, what the hell?
Do you ever go back to her later? Or
there's a short part where you play as her. And you basically just run away from that character Steve that she left with, gets infected and turned into like this giant monster that
has a battle axe, I think.
So originally when you see Nosferatu, it's actually like he's actually like stuck behind this battle axe thing, and like he breaks out of that.
Right.
And then the Steve monster like picks it up and just starts swinging it at you, and you can't do anything. You literally have to run away, and you also like it's one of the most obnoxious parts of a Resident Evil game because if you don't have enough healing stuff, you just lose it no matter what.
Really?
Because you can't avoid getting hit.
Oh, really? I hate.
Yeah, because you can run away. And if you stay there, you're gonna die for sure. But you run away, but his like second swipe always hits you. Oh. So like you have to have healing items, or you will just fail this part.
Oh, that's garbage, really? Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
I hate that.
Yeah, it was.
Bad design choice.
A little bit, yeah,
for sure. How's the puzzles in this one?
They're okay. They're similar to like 1 and 2. It's just kind of like put this block in this spot and maybe push a couple crates around, and that's about it.
That's fair. Also, speaking of which, in the second one, I always wondered why in the police station you had to do some stuff like. It's like the police station has puzzles for some reason.
Yeah,
well, in their police station, why?
It's like, the similar thing that I said. I think the chief of the police station put that stuff in. He's supposed to be like.
I thought it was that it's also a museum, like some weird like.
No, it was a museum. It was a museum first.
It's like a museum / police station.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, it was a museum first. Then they put it.
But I think most of the
station.
weird like entrances and like secret passages and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that was mostly the police chief that got those things installed.
I've never heard of, but I mean, I'm pretty bad at reading all of the stuff, so I could have.
I think that's how they explain it, but I can't remember for sure.
That's fair. So anyway, 3, or not 3. Code Veronica.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's got some of the coolest creatures and like brought back Wesker and actually made him like interesting.
Like, is that he comes back from 1? Or does he come back in?
Yeah.
Comes back in Code Veronica.
Yeah, I don't think he makes an appearance before that.
No.
Okay.
And he's like a superhero now. He does like a wall run.
Oh god. Yep. So it's looking like the movies didn't entirely make that all up on their own, being like, a guy can just walk up a wall, and you're like, all right, well,
no, not completely. I'm pretty sure Code Veronica came out quite a bit before that first movie, so even that first movie, so yeah. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's got the music, man. The music in this game is phenomenal.
Nice.
Like,
check it out.
More story driven. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like I said, more bosses. Like, you also fight like a giant spider that's under the ice.
What spiders in fucking Resident Evil? There's like they're huge.
There's a lot of people who have arachnophobia.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're like scary is spiders. Here we go. Throw a spider in there,
and also giant. So no longer can you just go.
yeah. I mean, I could do that, but I think it's just gonna make you mad.
Yeah, basically.
I will say in the second one, no, the first one. First one? Yeah, the first one when you go into an area and there's just like a spider like in the wall or whatever, just like hiding out, and you go there and it's like fucking moves around and shit. And you're like, I'm gonna fuck this thing, and you have to attack it. It's actually scary, but
and like Code Veronica also, or Alexia is pretty cool. She has a couple of different forms that you fight her as.
Yeah,
cool.
One of which is like a little like almost dragonfly-esque looking thing where she just has these tiny wings that have her hovering and she like spits acid and shit at you.
Oh, weird. Okay, interesting.
But once again, the same same tropes as usual. At the end, you're in a facility and you
self-destruct.
got self-destruct. You actually start the self-destruct in this one. That's the whole point of Code Veronica. Code Veronica is the code to start the self-destruct. Yeah.
Every single Resident Evil game, pretty much all of them end that way. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like,
There's
why?
always a self-destruct because it's an easy way to clean it up so that there's no like.
All the zombies are gone. Everything's gone.
Right. So
it's not gonna spread anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the thing I will always say about Resident Evil. The endings suck for me because like when it comes like because they're all the same when it comes to like you said, running away, the fucking timer, the blowing up, and it's
but it's always stressful too. Like they do a good job of making you be like, oh shit. Suddenly you have a time limit and you got to get shit done and get out of there.
It's true. Yeah, time limits are a pain in the dick. That's for sure. Oh yeah, I was gonna mention was it one? Yeah, when you go into the facility and that whole area is cool.
Oh
like,
yeah.
And it took me forever to figure out that whole. I think they put like patients fucking like ultrasounds or X-rays, and you gotta like make up a word or some shit, and that's the code.
Oh okay.
Took me fucking forever to figure that out.
Yeah, in the remake, I remember that.
Yeah.
No, I mean. One thing, like we were saying there when we were looking at that book, the things that Resident Evil like excels at every game is design. Like
design's great.
Both level and creature, like that's where they kind of knock it out of the park almost every time.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, story.
Sometimes it's a little.
Yeah, and you're like, huh?
It's a little convoluted.
Yeah, a little cheesy, a little obnoxious.
Especially the originals. Oh my god.
Yeah,
like you were just
they're
saying,
pretty campy.
Be a Jill sandwich. Goddamn.
But I don't know. I love them. I got a special place in my heart for the original ones.
Oh no, they're great too as well.
Yeah.
But if anyone were to play them now, they'd be like, this thing is shit. What is this?
Actually, honestly, I don't think if someone played Code Veronica today, they'd feel that way.
No?
It's like I said, there's a little bit of campiness, especially with Alfred.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's well written. It's interesting.
Has there ever been a remake for it?
No.
They'll probably end up making one for.
I hope so.
remake
it's
today.
like my favorite game. So
Hopefully
I wanna-
don't cut a ton of stuff out of it.
I mean, they're
Hopefully.
going to no matter what. So.
Well, I mean, they've heard from the fans they hate that, so the smart thing is to do not do that. So take a little more time, do it anyway. But closing remarks on this. I have none because I've never played it. But other than the fact, like, it seems cool and I want to play it.
Well, I know this one's a 9 for me at least.
Nice.
Because I love that game.
And you never played it yourself.
I know the story, but I haven't actually played the game.
Yeah, that's fair. So there's not another copy for another system or anything. It's just Dreamcast.
No,
PS2.
it came out on PS2.
Oh, sweet.
That's the
PS2.
Code Veronica X.
Yeah.
Do I have a PS2 somewhere? Okay, I think I have a PS2 somewhere.
It's also on everything now. So, like, you can get it on
PS4?
PS4.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Digital copy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't really care
you
about.
can't get physical for those, but
Yeah, I don't really care about owning them really. Like, I mean, I'm more of a movie dude when it comes to like the physical copies. I do buy certain physical copies of the games, but it has to be like a really good game for me to own it, you know. Or Metal Gear Solid. I love Metal Gear Solid. I want to own them all. So there's that. Yeah. Which is what I thought Code Veronica was in the first place. Is I thought it was like kind of like Peace Walker, where it's a whole other system and it's kind of like an offshoot thing. I didn't think it really mattered.
yeah, no, it's one of the like original 4 games.
Yeah, it's a main line.
It was supposed to be originally. It was supposed to be Resident Evil 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pissed off I didn't get to play it then because like I think that probably would have answered a few questions that I probably had.
A little bit, maybe, or made more questions. The Resident Evil
They all
games.
just make more questions.
That's usually what happens.
You're like, oh, wait, what?
yeah, essentially. But yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's any remarks on any other games or anything or this one?
I don't know. Maybe quickly just mentioning that we're probably not going to be talking about them because in any of the other talks, but the Gun Survivor games are kind of part of this era too.
Yeah.
They're kind of dumb. The first one is terrible.
Yeah,
Dead Aim was kind of cool, and then there's 2 in between there that aren't even available in this country or in North America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Survivor
one
looks
that's based off Code Veronica and one that's based off 3, I think. I can't remember.
Okay.
2. I remember seeing a clip before of like first person gun shooting, and I think
Oh.
Ada was there as well.
Yeah,
So
some
I
sort
wanna
of
say
rail
2.
shooter thing.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But
Dead Aim was actually pretty good. It came with a light gun.
oh, nice.
And but it comboed it, so you had third person when you were walking around, and then when you pulled the
that's
trigger,
kinda
it
cool.
went into first person. You
Oh,
could shoot the
cool.
zombies.
That's neat.
So yeah, it was. I burned out on that game because it was just so much fun, like actually shooting zombies and stuff.
That'd be cool. What's it called again? The
Resident Evil Dead Aim.
Dead Aim. Okay.
You can't really play it now because
Yeah. No.
you need CRT. So
Oh yeah, it worked like blicks. The whole white.
well, light guns don't work on
Then yeah.
plasma or LCD.
Oh, are they not?
Unless you can find like a port to the Wii or something.
Which
I do
there
have
isn't.
a Resident Evil rail shooter, I'm pretty sure, for the Wii, but
Yeah, I think Umbrella
Yeah.
Chronicles and Dark Side Chronicles were rail shooters for the Wii.
Okay. Yeah, the Survivor looks kind of bad. Like
It is. It's horrible.
and we didn't really talk about it, but Resident Evil 0 is pretty good as well. It is a prequel, and it doesn't make a ton of sense, but the gameplay it's pretty good. It's still fixed camera angles and stuff as well, but
yeah.
They also added some stuff to it too, right?
Yeah.
It was like the first time you were simultaneously playing two characters, which was really
yeah.
cool.
That was pretty cool.
And I don't believe it's tank controlled. It's regular controls with fixed camera angles.
I think so.
Which one? Which one?
0.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's I think you can choose to have it contextual, where you you go up, press up, you'll go up depending on the camera angle kind of
Gotcha.
thing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to play that one. I didn't even know that these ones. Well, I knew Veronica existed. I just didn't think it really meant anything. I didn't think it was like a mainline thing. And 0 I never heard of. So
Yeah.
definitely want to check those out. Yeah. So is that the end of the closing remarks on these games, or is there anything else? Because this is the time. If you want to say it now.
I don't know. I love these games. This is what got me into Resident Evil is these originals. So yeah.
Yeah, Resident Evil is a big part of my childhood in general. I only played 1 and 2 and 3. Actually, a lot. It's like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so yeah, I quite enjoy it.
I'll have more to say on the next one when we tackle 4, 5, 6.
Oh, I'm stoked for that one. 4 is one of my favorites for sure. So yeah, 5 and anyway. So
We'll talk about that later.
yeah. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Whatever you're watching it on, please subscribe or press like or both. We'll see you guys next time with another video. We're probably going to be, so what we're doing is like this one was all fixed camera angle. Ones we can talk about within the Resident Evil series. The next ones will be like, so it's going to be changing within the times, like third person and then first person, so forth. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.
See ya.
Stars!
Nice. Keeping it up. I thought you'd forget. But
Oh yeah, different catchphrase. Different
catchphrase guy.
the catchphrase guy.